So we're in for the cheapest haircut of our life today, but the most energy draining, taxing, but beautiful haircut we've probably ever had. Just got going.
I know, but I hate feeling claustrophobic. Oh, it's just really tight on my fucking big shoulders.
You are massive, bro. We've literally been gone about 5 seconds. We're still sitting in the road, but pretty impressed with that haircut, you know. That Nate did sitting on top of a mountain cliff. He's got a nice little fade going on there. Done a good job.
Not today.
Not today, Satan. So we are actually just off to a BMW garage. Oh, that's such a middle class thing to say, isn't it? We're off to a BMW garage. My car actually got picked up the other week because I've used it about 2 times in the last year since COVID. So it's gone back and I'm debating getting a new car. Slash, I was debating getting my micro scooter back and just using the train everywhere, because I'm actually not that arsed about getting a car, but we're going to the car garage, which seems pretty hypocritical, would you say? I'm one of those people, I'm either all in or I'm not. So I'm either not getting a car at all, or I'm probably gonna spend all my wages and money that I own on a vehicle that I'll never use.
That's why you have me.
Why?
To not let you do something so ridiculous.
Okay, but we'll see. We'll see when we get there anyway. Oh my. Well, that's sick, isn't it? That's a bit of me. It's not as long as the Grand Coupe.
Very flashy. Is this it? Yeah. It's very long, isn't it, on the back?
This one's like a little bit small, shorter.
Hey, it's very low.
I like the red interior there, not about that. And it's the colour I wanted as well.
Yeah, the colour's lovely.
Oh, sick this, isn't it?
Very low down.
Do you like it? I fucking love this, you know.
Look at that, you can't even see over the thing.
Look at that, how'd you even know? No, what's the point in that if you can't even open it? It is beautiful, isn't it?
To open it.
Look at those seats, I think these are the... Look at you, eh?
Told you.
You can't see it from the outside of it, can you? I kind of think that, like, it's like having a really nice pack of crisps, but they taste like shit inside, but you can't see the outside, can you? One thing that tastes like shit inside, like, it's beautiful. The sunshine. Everybody loves the sunshine. What are you up to that?
You whistling, you never whistle.
I was whistle. Babe, stop embarrassing me in front of you, shoot. Everybody loves the sunshine.
I don't think I've ever seen you whistle.
I won't whistle, what are you talking about? People sometimes call me Willie the Whistler. We've got a big Willie and a whistle.
Never heard you whistle.
So, I said I was going to go through some of the supplements this week, and that's exactly what we are doing. So we've got some pre-workout today, some pump product. I actually don't like the slim stuff too much because it sets me wide, and like in my workouts I'm looking just for more control, better blood flow. Piss off. So we've also got some creatine. I took my creatine, 5 grams of monohydrate. Excuse me. 5 grams of monohydrate, which is what I take every day. Also, these subs will be changing soon. I take some vitamin D3 plus K2. These are actually drops that I haven't taken yet this morning. So I basically got this, the little pipette. Done therein. I also take some ashwagandha. So I take ashwagandha for performance, and it also helps with stress and anxiety. So that's a decent one. I take omega fish oils. These are actually chewable ones. So although it seems a bit weird, you can chew them. I take some like Lidl's, as there's multivitamins, just really cheapo ones, which again I'll be replacing soon. And then I also take some magnesium glycinate. I don't actually know why I even take these, to be honest. And that's pretty much everything. We're going to take some pre. Oh,
put it in there now, Ben.
I haven't put the thing on top of the thing.
Get it over the sink for a sec.
Ew, the sink
Not in the...
We're going to sort this mess out, and then I'm going to give a Pectus update today, which is Pectus granatum, which I've had a lot of questions and comments about. I'll put one of the comments here because people like to comment on it all the time. Sometimes they're negative, sometimes people are just asking genuine questions. So I'm going to give you an update when we get, once we finish the workout today. In today's session, I thought I'd give you a bit of a Pectus update. So just to give you a run through, Pectus is pretty much where the sternum protrudes to look a little bit like a pigeon, i.e. the rib cage, and that's why it's called pigeon chest. What I've been doing with my training is now training chest twice a week, and although it doesn't make the issue go away, it does help to build some tissue around the area. And if we train properly, we can get more bang for a buck when we're going into these sessions. So in today's session, we started off with a Smith machine chest press just because I can get better exercise execution with it, and I was using a tempo here of 3, 0, 1, 0. I'm actually just going to pause this here because I want to talk about these 4 numbers, which are often quite confusing for people. So the first number, number 3, is going to be the eccentric portion of the movement, which is where we're going to go through that negative phase of the chest press, where I'm lowering it towards the chest. The second number here being the 0 is where I'm going to pause or not pause because it's a 0-second pause. Then I'm going to have a 1-second execution through the concentric phase of the movement, that's driving the bar up, and then again a 0-second pause at the top of the movement because there's no pause. Now, I did 2 sets of this in total, and as you can see, I'm pretty gassed from it. I did 2 feeder sets, which is pretty much just a fancy way of saying we did 2 warm sets without going to failure. Now, next we are going into the D-handle chest press, where we're going to be targeting the mid and costal fibers of the chest. Doing 2 sets of these again here. I'm working a tempo of 3, 2, 1, 1 for this one. Now, I popped on the daisy chains onto the cables because this just ensures we can move the cables closer to the shoulder, which means we get a better contraction through the chest, and then we can get a better squeeze. I'm really just trying to focus on staying in that optimal range here and not just trying to move the kind of the weight from A to B, and really get as much time under tension and focus on the fibers as possible. After this, I moved into the weighted dips, and this can sometimes be hard for some people to get this one right. And what I want to try and urge you to do is lean forward when we go into this one to try and put as much pressure onto the chest and off the triceps, and also make sure you try and push the grip a little bit wider than normal, again just to put the emphasis onto the chest. Now with this one, I think the reason why people struggle is due to mobility and the range that they can really get through the shoulder. So just be mindful of that active range. We don't really need to go all the way down, but we want to try and get that full squeeze at the top of the movement. I think for people with Pectus, it's usually where we struggle to build the most tissue, is at the bottom of the chest. So getting a bit of these dips in and lower wear can sometimes help, but it is where we're going to really need to push. Now we're moving into a superset, and this is where we're going to be performing 3 sets of doing an exercise back to back. And firstly, we're going to be doing the roller machine pec deck fly. Again, keeping a tempo of 3, 1, 2, 1 on this one, keeping tempo all the way through the workout, just so I can really emphasize the amount of time with the tension that we're spending and really get as much bang from a buck, like I was saying at the start of the workout. Now with this one, you probably realized I'm using a foam roller. This is just to allow the upper back to wrap around the roller and really pin the scapula back, which is what we want to be trying to do whenever we're trying to target the chest and keep the shoulders out of the movement. What we want to try and think about is using the upper arm to drive across the midline of the chest. What I try and do is imagine that I've also almost got like a pound coin sitting on top of my chest. I'm trying to squeeze that pound coin as hard as I can to get bigger contractions as possible. Now once we've finished on the pec deck and gone to pretty much failure with it, I'm going to be going straight into our superset, which is going to be deficit intention push-ups. Now the reason that they're called intention push-ups is going to be pretty obvious here, because we're moving with intention. We're trying to squeeze that chest as much as we can by driving the elbows together when we come down to the floor. And as you can probably see, I'm using elbow straps. It's just because we've got a bit of a dodgy shoulder, and plus you get 1 set of elbows, mate, so make sure you look after them. And then again here, we're going to absolute failure, working at a tempo of 3, 1, 2, 1. And then once we failed, I then moved into doing some triceps at the end of this, which I'm not going to show because it's a Pectus update. We don't need those juicy arms within this video. Now I just want to go through the actual physique update and just pop the top off again, because I think it's best if you can see my Pectus and the points that I'm putting out in order to get a better idea. And I just firstly wanted to pop this image up on the screen, and this was me when I was, I don't know how old, before any hair was growing on the chest, and just to get an idea of what my chest looked like and when I was younger. And I think the one thing to realise from the video is that I have odd sides to my chest, and this is quite common with having some missing muscle tissue within the chest. But the thing that I really want to get across is posture. Now, posture is where we try to tend to hide the chest as much as possible, and the only thing that happens here is we get a bit of a pot belly, we hide the chest even more, and it makes the physique look even worse. So I really want to kind of get you into pulling the shoulders back, lifting your head up, standing proud, and trying to expand that chest, which I know can be scary when we're trying to, well, we've been spending our lives hiding the chest of what we're kind of ashamed of. But I really wanted to get into that, not having that anterior pelvic tilt and have a sloppy posture, because it just makes things look a hell of a lot worse. The other thing that I don't do too much of is spending too much time really ab training, or specifically weighted abs, because it can sometimes make the stomach look a bit bigger when it already looks big as it is, just because of that expanded rib cage. So just be mindful of that when it comes to ab training, that protruding chest. And with me, as I've just been pointing out, one side for me tends to be a little bit more protruding than the other, and that tends to be the right side of my chest, as you can maybe see from some of these videos. As I say, it doesn't mean I haven't been able to build muscle on, and mine isn't that severe, if I'm being honest, and from my personal humble opinion. So that's why I've never chosen to go down the surgery route. It doesn't affect my breathing, it doesn't affect my mental health, and it hasn't affected the way I train. I prefer to go down the route of where I handle it, but of course that is always an option to you. Morning folks, it's like deja vu, isn't it? I am a creature of habit, but what can I say? In mountains below. So, we're just going to smash in some oats. I hope you enjoyed the video and a bit of the Pectus update. This is something that I get a question about quite often, obviously from guys most of the time. And I think the thing to drive home is that although you may be able to make changes to the amount of tissue you can put onto your chest, it's not going to change the structure of your rib cage and genetics. I think the better thing to do is almost like self-acceptance of that, and to try and make yourself feel better in other ways, and enjoy your training, enjoy the way that your body looks, and to accept that. I'm not saying that you have to be some kind of body positivity guru and you love every part of your body, because I think self-affirmations that are bullshit don't help anyone. Bit of a spiel for you there. So instead, understand it's going to take time, accept it. There's other things that you can focus on to be happy in life, just rather than how big your chest is. Something that doesn't bother me anymore. I can't say that I don't give a shit what other people think completely, because I think in ways we all give a little bit of a shit and always will do what other people think, and that's okay as well. But I'm gonna enjoy my porridge, I'm gonna watch some Disney news, and then also in next week's vlog, I'll try and pop some in here, may not.
Hey, Bill, I'm in the mood for a switch up.
Bye, Mom.
I hit the function, hit the rose till I hiccup. I hit the stage and leave.
We're actually going home, the father's 60th. I'm going to train with an old friend who you've seen on this YouTube channel before, and we're going to tank some legs in. So until then, enjoy, have a fantastic week, and I'll catch you in the next one. Hot.
Shit done. Corazón, gun finna jump for this shit.